Do you want to find out more about what your dreams mean and how you can harness the unlimited power of what they're trying to show you? Keep watching. So, every night we dream, even if we can't remember. We might not remember the majority or even all of our dreams, but as we go through our days, our subconscious mind is picking up everything that we see. So, if you imagine going to a busy place like an underground, all of the sea of people there, all of the things you see, your subconscious will pick all of that up, but we can't consciously remember all of this. So some of the things that we dream of are just our mind filing away what we have seen in the day. It's literally like a filing system. So you have an in tray and all of the papers are there to sort out, and then they get filed away, and it's the same with dreaming. Did you know that we dream in metaphor, and we dream even as early as in the womb? So we might dream of things and think, what on earth does that mean? And it's a metaphor often, it's some kind of imagery, symbology showing us something else. As well as filing away our thoughts from the day, our dreams can be wonderful ways to find solutions to problems we've been having. Sometimes we might be going through a challenge in life and we might dream of the answer. I have a friend who was recently talking about crocheting patterns and trying to logistically think about how to alter a pattern. She dreamt of the solution, and so this came from her subconscious mind while she slept, rather than, sometimes we can't always think of the answer at the time logically, but there's always answers and knowledge, deep wisdom within us. And by starting to listen to our dreams, we can really pay attention to those messages and what they're showing us. And other ways that dreams are important are sometimes our dreams can start to show us the truth of other people or situations that we might not always pick up consciously. So, for instance, a couple of decades ago, I had a partner for a while. When we started dating, everything seemed fine, but something didn't feel right. And I logically told myself, because back then I was very much more just in logic rather than intuition. So I logically told myself, everything's fine, you're just being paranoid, you're just worrying for no reason, there's no problem here. I started having recurring dreams of this person being really cruel to me and nasty and putting me down and making me feel like I was nothing. And recurring, right? So not just once or twice. And each time I just thought, oh, I'm just worrying for nothing, and I ignored it. Several months into our relationship, this person started showing another side of themselves, and I had never yet experienced that, where it's one thing, for instance, to maybe we're feeling sad or stressed and we're trying to hide it in public because we don't want to dump our problems and our stress onto other people. But if someone is, for instance, appearing that they're very safe and that they want to have your best interests at heart and that there is safe space, but actually they are not in a safe space and they want to hurt you. This is what these dreams were showing me. This person isn't actually in a safe space to be in a mutual two-way connection. And the more I stay in this dynamic, the more it's going to start to damage my own well-being. So those dreams were actually showing me this person's truth before I could see it consciously and logically. And then after 3 months, this person started showing another side to them, which was the side from my dreams. So my lesson from that experience was, trust your dreams. If you're having recurring dreams about something, it's trying to show you something. And like I say, it could be the truth of a situation that you can't yet see, or it could be something about your emotions that you haven't yet realized within yourself. Another time I had recurring dreams that relates to this topic is from my earliest years. I would have a recurring dream of being in the dark. I would wake up at night in the dream, go to turn on a light, a little light, a main light, and there would either be no light or it would be very dim and I could not see clearly. And as I got older, this dream got scarier and more intense, and I would open the front door just to see light and it would still be very dark. And when we realise what the dream is trying to tell us, and remember, sometimes it can be a metaphor, right? We will no longer have the dream because it's trying to show us something. So I went through my early years and teens having this dream with increasing severity. And then when I was in my teens, I went to have counselling and I wanted to talk about two things that I knew had traumatised me and I wanted to process and release. And I ended up talking about another thing that I didn't realise until that moment had affected me my whole life and related to my first memory. Now, I thought until that moment that that first memory was something that was saddening, but it didn't really affect me because it hadn't really been a part of my life. But actually, it had been a massive part of my life, and I just hadn't realised it until that moment. So that day that I had this dream, that day that I had this realisation in counselling, oh my God, I came to talk about two things that traumatised me, and I've ended up talking about another thing, and it relates to my first memory. So this was a massive revelation for me. And that very night, I had that dream of the dark again, only this time, for the first time, I was not scared. In my dream, I calmly went and got a light bulb, stuck it in the overhead fitting, turned it on. There was full light, and I never had the dream again. It was telling me in metaphor that I was literally in the dark about something. And when I realised what it was, that was it. The dream had resolved itself. And another way that our dreams can be very potent messages, and this can affect you the more intuitive or psychic, the more ESP you have, is having premonition dreams, like with the dreams I had with the ex-partner who wasn't for my highest good, or dreaming of unity consciousness. So for instance, dreaming of someone I have only met once and I can feel the turmoil they are going through in 5D, or dreaming, I actually dreamt of 9/11 the morning that it happened. So with the time difference between America and England, I was most likely dreaming about a massive, chaotic, carnage, destruction event in America, in a big city with skyscrapers and massive wide roads, running around, everyone's chaos everywhere, panic everywhere. Something awful had happened, and I was running to find someone close to me to make sure they were okay. And hours later, I heard about 9/11. So it's so key to start being able to listen to our dreams and what they're trying to tell us. And one more way that dreams can be very powerful is that they can sometimes be a guidance of divine timing. So if we think of ego versus soul, the ego wants everything to happen now. I need this right now. I won't be happy if I don't have this now. When is this going to happen? I want this to happen for me, right? The soul knows that things will happen when they're meant to. So for instance, maybe there is a connection you've made and you would love for it to become closer, and for whatever reason it's not happening yet. And you may think, oh no, maybe that means it's not meant to be. What's going on? Maybe it's not meant to be, or maybe it's going to be absolutely beautiful, but just not yet. So maybe you will dream of something that will be a metaphor again to show you when this is going to happen. So for instance, somebody I knew I was meant to meet, and I had a dream. I hadn't met them yet physically, and I had a dream that I saw them in a garden and they were tending to rose bushes. These rose bushes were really small. They were maybe that high. And I knew that there was a symbol in there that was telling me when this bush blooms, that's when the time will be right for us to meet physically. So I let go of all of that trying to force and trying to push, because the soul never needs to push or force. Energetically, everything happens when it's meant to, right? So sometimes these dreams can be showing us, not yet, but in this time, this is when this thing will unfold for our highest good and in the best possible way. So if you're getting more interested from watching this video in your dreams and unlocking all the meanings, then I really recommend starting a dream journal. You could have a notebook by the bed, you could type it in a Word doc, you could have notes on your phone, you could do voice to text if you're busy and it takes you a while to write these things down. Voice to text on your phone, maybe even while you're driving or getting ready for work, whatever it is, and then it can just put it into a document where you can then start to look at these dreams, see things like recurring themes. Are there certain people there? Are there people whose characteristics might represent other people? Are there recurring dreams? What kind of emotions are you feeling in these dreams? You might see a person and one person will make you feel safe and happy and uplifted in your dream. That's a really good sign, right? And another person might make you feel on edge or drained or like you want to run away from them. They might be chasing you and you're running away from them in your dream. Like, what is that trying to tell you about what your subconscious is trying to say? So yeah, just start to tap into making a note of your dreams so that you can explore them. And you can use a dream dictionary. There are countless ones online. Sometimes they can be really helpful, like, maybe dreaming of chains means that you feel shackled to a situation or a person, for instance. But I would advise using dream dictionaries loosely, because the meanings won't always mean the same thing. So for instance, to dream of someone wearing red, maybe a dream dictionary will say, oh, this means love. But what if you had a traumatic event with somebody wearing a red coat in the past? So to you, that might actually represent danger or something to go within and heal. So if this video found you today, maybe it's inviting you to start exploring your dreams and tap into that unlimited potential that your soul, the universe, your higher self is trying to show you today. Let me know if this resonated, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.